Most people think being broke is just bad luck, or that it's because they didn't make the right choices early. But here's the truth, getting and staying broke isn't usually a fluke. There's a consistent pattern behind it, and it's built into the way many of us handle money without even realizing it. The data doesn't lie. Most people stay broke not because they don't earn enough, but because of the systemic financial behaviors that quietly drain them. Hey, this is Zero to Wealth. We help people understand money in a way that actually makes sense. Our goal? To give you clear, practical insight into personal finance, so you can stop making the same mistakes, build better habits, and actually grow real financial freedom. If that sounds good, stick around because this video is going to break down exactly why most people stay broke, and what you can do about it, step by step. When you ask most people why they're struggling financially, the first thing they say is, "I don't make enough." And yes, income matters, but it's not the whole story. We live in a world where spending is normalized. Everywhere you look, there's a new gadget, a newer car, a more luxurious lifestyle on Instagram. At the same time, saving and investing are often pushed to the back burner. Many of us treat saving like a nice-to-have instead of a priority. Here's the critical truth. Wealth is not what you earn, but what you keep and grow. You could make a decent salary, but if your expenses are high and debt is piling up, net worth won't move in the direction you want. Compounding doesn't work if you never give it capital to compound. So, the real issue isn't always make more money. It's about managing the money you have, stopping the leaks, and setting up systems that force you to build. Let's dive into 5 of the biggest forces that trap people in a cycle of financial struggle. These aren't just random issues, they're interconnected and self-reinforcing. Reason 1. Not saving enough, the almost nothing problem. Many households save only a tiny fraction of their income. Historically, personal saving rates in places like the US have varied, but in recent years, many people still save far below what they should if they want to build long-term wealth. Why does this happen? For a lot of people, saving feels optional. They say, "I'll save when I make more," or "I'll start next month." But the problem is time. Compounding is exponential, not linear. If you save a little now, those dollars start working for you. But if you wait, you're giving up incredible momentum. Example, suppose you save $200 a month starting at age 25, and you get a reasonably good return. That's tens or even hundreds of thousands more down the road than someone who starts later and saves the same monthly amount. The key isn't being perfect, it's starting consistently. Reason 2, high, persistent consumer debt. One of the worst financial leaks is credit card debt. Many people carry a balance month to month. Credit card APRs are notoriously high, sometimes 15%, 20%, even more. Paying interest on that debt is like working for someone else, but you never see the benefit. That debt isn't just a burden, it's a compounder, but on the negative side. Every month, you owe more, and if you're just making minimum payments, you may feel like you're making progress, but you're mostly paying interest. And here's a catch, while you're servicing that debt, you might not be investing as aggressively, or you might not have an emergency fund. So when a crisis hits, you tap the credit card again, creating a vicious cycle. Reason 3, long-term liabilities, student loans, mortgages, car loans. Student debt is a major drag on cash flow for millions of people. Many borrowers are stuck making monthly payments for years, which reduces their ability to build savings or invest. And then there are car loans and mortgages. Not all debt is bad debt, but debt with interest and long repayment terms can be limiting. If too much of your monthly income is eaten up by debt payments, you don't have flexibility to save, invest, or redirect money into growth. For many, this means decisions get delayed. I can't start a business. I can't build an emergency fund. Or, I shouldn't invest until I pay off this loan, all because cash flow is constrained. Reason 4, lifestyle creep, keeping up, spending. This is one of the most insidious problems. As income goes up, spending often goes up faster. People rationalize it, "I deserve this," or "I've been working hard." But these little upgrades, frequent dining out, subscriptions, travel, clothes, cars, they all add up. The problem is not always the big-ticket purchase, but the consistent increase in recurring and discretionary spending. And what's worse, every dollar you spend on lifestyle doesn't compound. You don't earn interest on a lavish vacation. If instead, some of that money went into investments, it could grow exponentially. But because it's spent, the opportunity cost is real and often huge. Reason 5. Lack of financial systems. No budget, no automation, no discipline by default. Many people operate on a paycheck-to-paycheck mindset without a real system. Without tracking spending or setting up automatic contributions, it's extremely hard to consistently build wealth. Budgeting can sound rigid or old-fashioned, but the truth is, systems don't have to be complicated. When you set up automatic transfers, it doesn't require willpower every month. You don't decide to save, you automate to save. Without systems, good intentions fail. At the beginning of many months, people mean well, I want to save more. But by the time bills come due, or an unexpected expense pops up, they redirect money and forget. Now, it's important to understand how these reasons don't work in isolation. They feed off each other and lock people into a cycle. Debt eats up cash flow, making saving harder. Low saving means you don't build a safety net, so unexpected expenses force you to borrow more. Lifestyle creep keeps increasing your baseline costs, so even if your income goes up, you don't free up much to save. Without automation, even when you do have extra money, you don't systematically reroute it towards savings or investments. You might spend it instead. Over time, these patterns compound just like your investments would. But because these are negative cycles, compounding works against you. This is why so many people feel stuck, even people who are earning more than they used to. It's not simply about the paycheck. It's about your money habits. There is a way out. And here's what tends to change when someone breaks free from financial struggle. Realizing paying interest is a loss strategy. The moment many people turn things around is when they stop treating minimum payments and interest as just part of life. They recognize that when you're paying 20% APR on credit card debt, you're compounding losses. That realization hits when they do the math, or when they look at how much they've paid just for interest over a year or multiple years. It becomes obvious that this is not sustainable, and that paying down this debt is one of the highest ROI uses of money. Prioritizing pay yourself first. Instead of saving whatever is left after spending, they flip the script. They pay themselves first. That means part of their paycheck automatically goes into savings and investing before other expenses. This is not about depriving yourself, it's about building a strong foundation. Over time, those automated contributions grow, and people begin to feel the momentum of compounding, not just on what they owe, but on what they own. Building a small emergency fund. Many people don't have a buffer, so when something breaks, they dig into credit lines. But those who break the cycle build a small, dedicated fund, often $500, $1,000 to start, to absorb the shock. Once they have that, they can avoid using credit for small emergencies. This prevents new debt from forming, which helps break the vicious cycle. Tracking net worth. Instead of just focusing on income or how much money is in my bank account, they track net worth, assets minus liabilities. Seeing that number rise month by month, even slowly, is incredibly motivating. It's a real, measurable way to track progress, far more meaningful than just, on payday, I had X more than last month. Cutting the leaks, not just the big ones. They audit their expenses, subscriptions, dining out, impulse purchases. They identify recurring money leaks that don't add lasting value. Then, they intentionally cut or redirect those leaks into savings and investing. Over time, those small, consistent shifts add up more than they might think. Increasing income, but deploying it strategically. Many people who break free don't just rely on their main job. They pick up side gigs, ask for raises, or monetize a hobby. The key, though, is not just earning more, it's directing that extra income toward debt payoff and savings first. Once debt is under control and their systems are automated, then they can think about other financial goals, like investing more aggressively, starting a business, or building passive income. Investing simply and wisely. They don't try to beat the market. Instead, they go for reliable, low-cost options. Index funds, retirement accounts, dollar-cost averaging. This is critical because compounding only works if your money stays invested and grows steadily. When the debt is tamed and the buffer built, investing becomes a powerful lever for wealth, not a gamble. Now, let me walk you through a practical, step-by-step plan you can start implementing right now to stop staying broke and start building real financial momentum. Step 1. Automate Pay Yourself First. On the day you get paid, set up an automatic transfer. A fixed percentage, even 5 to 10%, goes into a savings or investment account before you touch your paycheck. Over time, as you earn more or lower other expenses, you can increase that percentage. The automation means you don't rely on discipline every month. You just let the system work. Step 2. Tackle high-interest debt aggressively. Make a list of all your debts, focusing especially on high APR ones like credit cards or revolving balances. Use either the avalanche method, pay the highest interest debt first, or the snowball method, pay off the smallest balance first for momentum, whichever motivates you. Use extra cash, side gig earnings, tax refunds, windfalls, to throw at debt. The sooner you reduce these, the more cash flow you free up. Step 3. Build a small emergency buffer. Open a separate, easily accessible savings account, separate from your checking. Aim for a starter shock fund of $500 to $1,000. This is not your long-term emergency fund. It's just to avoid using credit for common, small surprises. Once that's in place, you can work toward building 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses in a more stable account. Step 4. Start tracking your net worth. Set up a simple spreadsheet or use a free app to list your assets, cash, investments, property, and liabilities, debt, loans, credit cards. Every month, or every quarter, update the numbers and calculate your net worth. Celebrate the growth, even small. If the number goes up, you're doing something right. Step 5. Audit your spending and cut the leaks. Review your last few months of bank or credit card statements. Identify recurring costs, subscriptions, streaming services, frequent takeout, impulse buys. Ask yourself, is this worth it? For each recurring cost, decide whether to cancel, downgrade, or replace. Redirect the money saved into your automatic savings or investing system. Step 6. Find ways to increase income and allocate it wisely. Brainstorm side hustles, freelance gigs, or ways to monetize a skill or passion. If you get a raise or bonus, commit to funneling that extra income into debt payoff and savings, not lifestyle inflation. Over time, as your financial foundation strengthens, you can decide more consciously how much to reinvest, how much to set aside, and how much to spend. Step 7. Invest wisely. Keep it simple. Choose low-cost, diversified investments, index funds, ETFs, or retirement accounts. Use dollar-cost averaging. Invest regularly, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, rather than trying to time the market. Reinvest dividends and focus on long-term growth. Let compounding do its work. Step 8. Maintain a monthly financial review. At the end of each month, check in. Did you hit your automated savings goal? Did you pay extra toward debt? Did your net worth move in the right direction? Did you spot any new leaks or unnecessary expenses? Adjust as needed. If something isn't working, tweak it. But don't throw out your systems because of one bad month. The biggest reason people stay broke isn't always what's in their bank account, it's how they think about money. Let me share a mindset shift that has to happen for real change to stick. From, I'm bad with money, I'm building systems that work for me. Instead of believing you're just not good at finances, realize that being broke is often a behavior pattern, not a personal failing. When you build systems, automated savings, debt repayment, budgeting, you're not relying on willpower or guilt, you're engineering your financial life. Over time, these small, repeatable actions compound, just like money does. The power isn't in doing something heroic once. It's in doing consistent, smart things that together change your trajectory. Another key mindset piece: delayed gratification plus long-term view. A big part of building wealth is embracing delayed gratification. That doesn't mean you never enjoy life. It means you make thoughtful trade-offs. For example, choosing to save $50 to $100 per week instead of spending on an expensive dinner. It's not punishment, it's prioritization. The people who escape financial traps understand that their future self is more important than their immediate impulses. Every dollar you redirect today toward assets makes life easier later, or even drastically different. Now, let's zoom out a little. Here's why the system I just laid out actually works, and why it's likely to outperform the make more money and pray approach. Compounding can work for you instead of against you. When you pay down high-interest debt, you stop compounding losses. When you save and invest consistently, you create compounding gains. Over time, the gains outstrip the losses if you're disciplined. Automated systems remove decision fatigue. When your plan is automatic, you don't need to make hard choices every paycheck. Your future self is taken care of without constant willpower battles. Resilience in the face of emergencies. With a buffer emergency fund, you don't need to rely on credit when things break or go wrong. This breaks the cycle of borrowing, which is often the main reason people are stuck. You build real net worth, not just cash flow. Net worth is the holistic measure. It's everything you own minus what you owe. When that number grows, it means you're building real, tangible financial strength, not just juggling paycheck to paycheck. Freedom to make riskier, smarter decisions. Once you have stable systems and growing net worth, you can take calculated risks. Maybe start a side business, invest in real estate, or take a job with variable income. But because you have a financial foundation, those risks are not as scary, they're strategic. You might be thinking, this sounds good in theory, and that's totally fair. Here are some of the most common objections, and how to address them. Objection 1, I don't have enough to save. You don't need a huge amount to start. Even saving $20 to $50 per paycheck matters. The key is to automate it. Over time, that adds up, and it signals a commitment to yourself. Objection 2, I have too much debt, I can't save it all. Yes, you need to tackle debt aggressively, but you can often find room to save a little while also paying down debt. The dual-track strategy, paying debt plus saving, might feel slow, but it's more powerful than neglecting either side. Objection 3, budgeting feels restrictive. Think of budgeting not as restriction, but as freedom. A budget gives you permission to spend where it matters and to save where it counts. And with automation, you won't have to micromanage every dollar. Objection 4, I don't know how to invest. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to start. Use low-cost index funds, set up a retirement account, and automate investments. Learning can come gradually. Focus on consistency, not timing or beating the market. Objection 5, emergencies always ruin my plan. That's exactly why you build a buffer. Start small. Then grow your emergency fund. Yes, life throws curveballs, but having even a modest cushion changes how you respond to them. Let me share a quick case, fictional but realistic, to illustrate how this actually works in practice. Meet Sarah. She's 28, working a mid-level corporate job. She makes $50,000 a year, but has $6,000 in credit card debt, $18,000 in student loans, and her savings account is basically empty. She feels like she's just treading water, and she's worried she'll never break out. One day she pulls up her credit card statements and realizes she's paying $150 per month just in interest. She does the math. Over the next 5 years, if she just made minimum payments, she'd pay back much more than she originally borrowed. That's when she decides, enough. She sets up an automatic transfer. $200 goes into a payoff plus savings account every paycheck. She builds a $1,000 emergency fund first. She adopts an avalanche method for debt. She targets her credit card's 18% APR first, while still saving a little. She tracks her net worth monthly. She cancels 2 subscription services she doesn't use much and stops going out to eat as often, redirecting those funds. She picks up a weekend side gig freelance writing and channels all extra earnings into debt. Once her credit card is paid off, she starts investing in a low-cost index fund. A few years later, Sarah's emergency fund is solid, her high-interest debt is gone, and her investments are growing. Her net worth is climbing. She's no longer stressed about small emergencies or credit card bills. She has choices, she's no longer trapped. This isn't about being a financial saint or having perfect discipline. It's about building a system that works for her and sticking with it. Here's the truth. Most people don't stay broke because of bad luck. They stay broke because their money habits are not aligned with long-term growth, and because building wealth isn't just about earning more, but about managing what you have. The biggest breakthroughs come from small, consistent decisions: automating savings, paying down high-interest debt, building buffers, cutting leaks, and tracking your progress. If you commit to these steps, you're not just building money, you're building freedom. Financial freedom means not having to worry when life throws a curveball. It means having choice, and it means your money works for you, not the other way around. And remember, this is a journey. You don't need to do everything overnight. You don't need to be perfect. What matters is taking the first step, and then repeating it month after month. Over time, that's how real change happens. If you found this video helpful and you want more step-by-step guides to building wealth, whether that's budgeting templates, debt payoff plans, or investing breakdowns, make sure to hit subscribe. I post content like this daily to help you take control of your financial future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.